A lot of people ask me this question when they see me. Max, if you had to start wholesaling from scratch in 2025, what would you do? My answer is, I would do it completely different. But not because wholesaling has changed fundamentally, because it hasn't. Because the noise around is much louder than ever. You've seen it. There's tons of courses, there's tools, there's even gurus promising overnight success, and it's overwhelming. Trust me, I've been there. I've been exactly where you are, and I know how frustrating it feels to be stuck in the chaos. I still vividly remember my first deal. It wasn't glamorous, it was a small house in a neighborhood I grew up in, and honestly, I had no idea what I was doing. But here's the thing, I didn't have a fancy software, I didn't have no elaborate business plan, it was literally me, some handwritten notes, and hundreds of phone calls and countless hours of driving around, what they call driving for dollars. I focused on finding motivated sellers, building genuine connections, and consistently following up. That simplicity worked then, and it still works now. I even made videos about why keeping wholesaling simple is crucial. In my opinion, the main reason why new wholesalers get stuck in today is because analysis paralysis. But this is not unique with just wholesaling. It's kind of unique across the entire board when you try to start in wholesaling or any entrepreneur venture. But I have personally helped dozens, let's say hundreds or even thousands of people who spent thousands on software, on courses, on automation tools before they ever spoke to a single seller. Think about it. It's like buying a Ferrari without knowing how to drive it yet. Yeah, you may look good, but you're going nowhere fast. See, here's the hard truth. Action beats planning every time. Your success depends less on the tools and everything you have, and more just on picking up the phone and making real human connections. If I started again today, I'd keep it incredibly simple. I'd pick one data tool, a place where I get all my data, and then I'll do a basic calling and texting tool. That's it. I won't have a CRM, I won't have any automations, just data and direct outreach. I get my first few deals done with that type of simplicity, and then I'll reinvest into expanding my toolkit later. You see, when I first started, I wasted weeks agonizing over my website design, my company logos, was the colors reflecting the right thing, thinking this would magically make or attract sellers. Spoiler alert, it did not work. What worked was quickly calling sellers, even if I felt unsure. See, your first priority as a wholesaler isn't perfection. It's making quick, decisive moves. And if I started now in 2025, I would obsess over one single market. Now, let's say Charlotte, North Carolina. I would know every street, I would know every zip code, I would know the price ranges, I would know exactly who's buying. I would become the go-to person in Charlotte, North Carolina. And that's how I would dominate. I'd rather specialize deep than spreading myself thin across multiple markets and not really knowing much about anything. I would literally be the go-to person in that market. And finally, the secret sauce. It's very simple. Talking to people. Nothing replaces a genuine conversation. For example, my first phone calls would sound something like this. Hey, my name is Max. I know this is random, but I help people solve property problems. If you're ever considering selling, I'd love to see if I can help you out. The reason why it works is because it's simple, it's direct, and it's human. I mean, what are they gonna say? It's either they're interested or not interested, but I would make sure I have genuine human connections. I really think people complicate the idea of getting started in wholesaling, maybe because they don't actually want to start in the get-go. The concept of wholesaling is very simple, and people still ask me all the time, how do I start? How do I get going? And it's very simple. You just gotta talk to people. And I say this and they kind of like get disappointed in my answer. And I'm like you genuinely just have to talk to people. Because if you don't talk to people, then you're never going to get the conversation across or the idea across that you can buy properties and help people. And another thing is maybe diving deep into your market and just understanding everything, because it's really not that complicated. You just need to find a few people a month that have homes, whether they live in it, whether it's a second home, a home they inherited, whatever the case or scenario might be, that this person is interested in possibly selling their home or that property. It doesn't need to have all these shiny bells and whistles. Now, you guys might remember, I mentioned a while ago, I got an email from a company that launched a new software. It's Connected Investors. Well, Connected Investors is not new, but the owners are new. And honestly, at the time, I was kind of skeptical. But you remember I was saying, okay, Connected Investors is a North Carolina company. I knew about it. I knew some people that worked in there, and I would reach out and try to find somebody. Well, I didn't find that person. Things have completely changed, but I did get a hold of someone who was cool enough to be able to say, oh, we know who you are. Let me show you what we got. We looked inside and I sat with it for literally probably, I think it was about 7 days. And I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. There's some things that we might want to tweak. And so I went back and forth with them and they're working on some things that I suggested. But after diving deep, it kind of surprised me. They've rebuilt everything from the ground up, literally. And the cool thing that excites me about this company is that it's backed by a very, very big real estate company, not like a brokerage company, like a big data company, like the biggest in America, like the largest, the biggest. That reminds me of a song. Anyways, what they did is they really just looked at what the market needed and they kind of made it simple, but then they added some things that gave confidence to everyday wholesalers. One of the unique features that I like was this thing called the BUYABILITY score. So what it does is it quickly identifies highly motivated sellers and it helps you prioritize your outreach, right? So if you've got a big list of all these people and it kind of gives you this BUYABILITY score and it goes and it goes up to like 200, 300%. But you'll see it, the more it's in the green, the more motivation that has. And I'm guessing they use some type of algorithm to figure out how many lists or how many things these people are on. And this allows you to prioritize your outreach. They also have this comp tool. Now, the reason why I say the comping tool is very important, because there's no guesswork needed. It instantly pulls the most accurate comps and adjusts it. Even if you're like doing renovations, it has like this calculator next to it. But what I found in talking to thousands, I've been publicly talking to people about wholesaling since 2017, okay? That's a long time. That is a long time. I guess you'd say I'm an OG now. That's why the young guys call me OG. Anyways, comping is like confidence. And the more confident you are, the more you're willing to speak to sellers and the more you're willing to make offers. Because remember, in this business, you don't make deals if you don't talk to people. You don't make deals if you don't make offers. And offers is simply just being able to have the confidence to put a number out there and to negotiate against that number for buying that property. Because if you don't have that confidence in really understanding what the home value should be in the current condition, then you're never gonna win in this game, because that literally comes with confidence. So when they built this comp tool, I loved it. I asked them to tweak a few things, and they're working on doing those tweaks, because those are what gives the confidence to people like you who are just starting in the game, or your team, or whatever it is. You need to have a good comping tool, because as of now, comping is simply more art than it is science, but I think they're really trying to dive behind the science idea of comping. Another thing that really stood out to me when I was diving into software was their cash buyers. Now, I would say most of these tools have cash buyers, but this is something different, because rather than just showing you, it focuses specifically on unique buyers rather than just a bunch of properties that have been sold. What I liked about it is you can get a list of recently cash purchases in your region, your area, your neighborhood, and it tells you who the person is, how many other properties they have. Then it tells you their latest purchase. Then it tells you how many purchases they had in a certain amount of time and what's their average price. Now, the reason why the average price is because that shows you their appetite or their tolerance. How big do they usually buy properties? What range do they usually buy them in? And then obviously the data, you can skip trace them. They have some of the best data, because you just got to look up to see who the company is behind it. It's a big company. But the point is, if you can really reach out to active buyers, and that's another key too, you need to be able to have active buyers who are genuinely interested in your deals. I think that's very, very important to someone that's coming new in this game, or anybody actually. And then they have this thing that I've never seen in any other software, and they call it collaboration tool. So it allows multiple people to work together seamlessly on one deal, sharing notes and documents and real-time updates. It literally is instant messaging between you and somebody on your team or other local wholesalers, where you're literally working on a deal together and you're seeing all the notes from the conversations, you're seeing the collaborations, the comps. It literally is a game changer because it's adding this social aspect and this team aspect built into your central data place. You got to check it out. But you know, as they keep doing these updates, I'll keep updating you. I just asked for a few tweaks, but I'll definitely keep you guys updated. So here is my challenge to you guys, right? This is my challenge to you. Stop waiting and start taking action today. Let's simplify, let's get focused, and start having real conversation. And if you found this helpful, hit the like button. And if you have any questions on your own about your own wholesaling stories, please drop them in the comments below. I generally want to hear them. And of course, if you guys want to dive deeper into more conversation, I have my school community. I'll always link that below. And listen, no strings attached. It's always open. There's no payment. It's always free. I think I've moved on to better things than selling courses to you guys. But listen, there's no pressure. It's just real talk. Let's make 2025 your year. I know we're like beyond the first quarter, but let's make 2025 your year. Let's simplify. Let's get that money. And I'll see you guys in the next one. And I'll put the link below to that collected investor software. You guys check it out on your own, but I'm gonna be doing more videos because I think this is something real cool. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.